Going to try to prove why I think Repulsor Blast gives you the strongest version of Cyke in a potential metacomp with this guide. Let's start with the basics. Repulsor Blast hits the top right corner nearly instantly. A little further out from the Gene Splice zone. Gives your opponent a little something extra to deal with. Any random Repulsor hit in neutral can lead to either a super or a launch into infinite into potential death. Helps with sentinels flying in that mid-range zone ready to back out of a DP, for example. Should be able to combine it with other moves like Optic Blast to cut off angles and make things happen in neutral. Repulsor is active for a very long time, so you get very good coverage for your DPs. Many characters will have a hard time dealing with this when they're trying to get in. You can straight bully lots of low tiers by spamming this, so give this a try in ranked when you're practicing Cyke on point. My experience has been many low tier players don't mind fighting Cyke like they do god tiers despite losing bad, because he's more like a super mutant Shoto. What's crazy though is you can actually get a full combo off of a DP, so a random Gene Splice can actually lead to death. It does need to hit right though, so it's not like free. Can also get cross-ups off of DPs that lead into a combo. Can definitely create setups that make use of this. It doesn't give you any coverage for the long-range DPs though, so you'll need to use a super or ground assist for those. You shouldn't be using the long-range DPs too often anyway, so this can help control that bad habit. Also helps with connecting a mega Optic Blast off of DPs by filling in the dead zone, which can be useful for DHCs into supers like HSF or HVB. Another basic covers the area above you when you try to snipe with a ground Optic Blast or throw bullets. Very common for box dashers to try and punish you. You can get full combos off of raw Cyclone kicks, good against dashing low attacks, and also works with stand Roundhouse into Cyclone kick. One of the most important things this assist gets you is an actual counter call assist. Cyke normally only has assists that are called from behind him like drones, Typhoon, EM Disruptor, Lightning Attack. Scimitar is a close counter call, but it's not nearly as good as this. Rocket Punch, I think, actually has a lot of potential, but needs more exploration and most don't want to give up drones. Repulsor is called up close, is high damage, and a knockdown, so there's definitely ways to play off of that. You can counter call on reaction, and you can also use your jumps or double jumps to force the other guy's assist to turn around and get hit by Repulsor from behind. Repulsor also pops assists up, so you can SOB from above like this. This position is great against certain characters like Sentinel. He can't really do much in this area, you can just tap him with the beam when he approaches to send him back to the floor. Another proof of concept, you can just aim the beam back and forth between point and assist and then DHC. Cyke's game plan is heavily based around punishing assists, because you need to at least make the other guy think about calling their anti-air, so you can make better use of your high priority jump-ins. SOB is a strong assist killing super, not quite Hail or AHVB level, but maybe a tier below. This isn't a real setup, it just shows you can make use of the SOB glitch for extra hits at the top of the screen. You can maybe find ways to make use of it in some niche situations like if Repulsor hits both characters or something. This is an older fighter, so not many characters get easy launches from solo strings. Cyke has a real problem landing launches reliably because a lot of stand shots you land won't be with a close dash. It'll be like a counter poke from people trying to get in on you. Repulsor does let you convert a max range short Cyclone kick into a launch into potential death. You need launches into infinite setups to maximize his kill potential. He doesn't want Optic Blast combos, he wants infinites. Right, Chris? If you have 2 bars and a DHC available on a ground hit, then go ahead and do a simple BNB into a DHC. You do have to call Repulsor with medium kick, but if you call it with light you still get either super, so it's not terrible. MOB actually sets you up for a good shockwave DHC if you're playing mag, but it does mess up some other DHCs. This is an easy to land string on standing characters or tall crouches. You also get double snaps off of strings with Repulsor, which is always nice to have. Here's a few more strings that show that. This string is good for midget crouches like Cammy. If you run into those matchups, Cyke's Roundhouse throw into Repulsor is insanely good. Undoubtedly one of the highest damaging throws into assists in the entire game. If you land it in a reset, it probably means death. You can use the fireball motion trick to cancel a dash into throw, since Cyke doesn't have a fireball kick move. The only bad thing is the throw can whiff due to the moving Repulsor hitbox. If you plink the assist into the throw, it should always land with that timing. It's possible without plink timing, but it's very unreliable. You can use the fierce punch throw, which is a bit more lenient, but less damaging. Another little bonus you get is a full combo conversion off of anti-air double roundhouse. They do have to be high in the air though, as it'll whiff if they're too low. You should be able to confirm a low hit into a super still, and it'll tack on some extra damage. A really good use for this is a cross-up reset from the Infinite. I've used this reset like 50 plus times, I don't know, I lost count, but it hasn't been blocked once. No one blocks it since it's so fast, and everyone is holding back in anticipation of you messing up the Infinite. I've only been hit by a mashing fierce from a Cammy and Commando because I hit them too high up in the air. If they pre-block, then that opens up other stuff, of course. You also get easy full combo conversions off of early jump normals. Double jump characters in Marvel 2 can use early jump normals, and then double jump to be able to block again because it resets their normal jump state. Cyke is one of the best users of this because his jumping normals are really good. Having an easy, reliable DHC off of Air Fierce Roundhouse is nice because you will land this a lot in matches. I'm not an Ironman player, so I'm not sure Ironman Cyke can compete with Ironman's other duos. He's competing for a spot on the team with like Psylocke, Cable, and Doom, mostly I think. Psylocke's easy mode conversions and guard breaks are really tough to give up. Cable AA is already proven with Ironman and he's an S-tier meter spender for teams that need one. I will say, if this no unfly air conversion is reliable and consistent, plus Cyke bringing very strong performance when he's on point, Ironman Cyke can maybe find a spot in the meta. I am curious if there are any other routes to convert off of a high full Cyke kit. I was messing with this one a little bit, but yeah, I'm not sure. Probably need help from some Ironman players here because Ironman on point with Cyke Assist needs to hold its own for any of this stuff in this guide to matter.